Today Smudge and I have been invited out to a friend's private property to do some prospecting on his creek. We're going to actually set the trommel up today and give it a bit of a smash out, see what we can come up with. But as you can see, there's a lot of gravel here, some gravel bars, but it's quite a historic property, this one. It's all private, 10 acres, but as you can see over here, there's a heap of shallow workings all the way around this property. There's shallow workings everywhere, and yeah, he's had a fair bit of rain, because this is where we got rained off the other day when we did those 10 test pans. So he's had a fair bit of water come through, a bit of a flood since the last time I was here, but you can see how high it got. That was that 100 mil that we copped in like 24 hours. So we're going to have a bit of a go. Okay, back again. I just sort of, where the yabby pump's lying there, that's where I did a test pan. Not a lot in that one, but 3 tiny little micros up the top there. 1, 2, 3. Have got much better pans here. I'm going to try and do one just here behind this tyre. There's a bit of a hole where I was digging the other day. I was getting decent ones there. Now, as I was saying, straight behind that tyre, where there's obviously a bit of a dead zone there, if a big heavy tyre can drop out. Right there where I got the yabby pump. Smudge has dropped his stick in the water, but that's a better pan, because that's got a few more bigger bits in it, and a few more spec counts. So I'm going to do another test pan. I'm going to do one over behind that stump, because along that little wall there, that little edge, I was getting quite a good spec count too the other week before the floods. Never know, might have washed it away, mind you, might have deposited more there. So anyway, we'll try that one. Okay. If anyone's seen the video of actually the test pans that we did here, 10 of them, you'll know it's flower gold country, mate. And it's some seriously small stuff. But my sluice is pretty good. That's 2, and that came out of just behind the stump. I'm thinking we're going to set the trommel up here. We'll try and smash a fair bit through it today. And who knows, after about 5-6 hours, who knows what we might have. But it's very fine. So Smudge has dropped his stick, and it's in the deepest hole, and he's too afraid to jump in there. We've set up down the creek. We've got the trommel set up after doing a fair few more test pans. We settled on this spot because it was given the biggest spec count. That's the solar panel out. That runs with, well, charges the lithium battery. The lithium battery has a variable speed controller on the actual 4,800 gallon per hour pump, which is down in the hole there. This is where we're going to start digging. We're getting some good spec counts out of that. I still haven't upgraded the torque on my motor on the trommel, so it's still struggling a little bit with the extra weight, so we just try not to overload it too much. But yeah, this is the trommel in action. The main barrel is driven by a windscreen wiper motor, 12 volt, with a variable speed controller on it. It's on the low speed of the windscreen wiper motor, hopefully to give it more torque, and it's going flat out at the moment. We're pumping a fair bit of water through it, but the main trommel barrel was made out of a 60 litre drum cut down, and the blue sections came out of a 100 litre, like an olive drum, all drilled. Took a lot of hours to drill those bloody holes, I'll tell you that much, but it's all pop riveted together, so it's really strong. At the bottom is another 60 litre drum that was cut up and turned into the pant zone, which comes out here. You can't really see it, but it comes out underneath the actual sluice. I'll show you that in a minute. But this is the mini high banker. that can be ran just as a high banker with a pipe already attached to it in case I have problems with the trommel. And then we've got the first of the part of the sluice run. First part of the sluice run seems to be working alright. All the gravels are coming down low. 90% of the gold gets caught in the top hopper box because the hopper box has got like a miner's moss. It's actually a Bunnings bloody floor mat in there, but as you can see it's ducking out underneath, and it's got a long section there to catch with bead of mesh in it, and it seems to be working okay today. So it's pumping through. The grizzly bars at the end, because the trommel does such a good job at screening the rocks, you don't get a lot. You get a bit of leaf litter and a bit of shit down here, but the grizzly bars are actually made out of a budgie cake, so it's not real strong. It's not something you go throw and 2 ton of rock on, but it works. And that's the trommel working there with the reverse helix. Alright, I think we're probably up to about 25 shovels so far, but as you can see, it is struggling with the weight. I've got to do something about that, either gear it down or reduce it somehow so it's not, or change the motor to a higher torque motor. But it does wash the gravels pretty well. And if you look down there, that's the wash stuff that's coming out, and it's pretty bloody clean. It does a good job. It doesn't let a lot of the big flat rocks through, which tend to jam up your sluice a bit. But it does actually get blocked up with a bit of leaf litter and root balls and stuff like that. But a stiff brush and you give it a clean and away it goes. But this is the material that we're putting in it out of the creek. As you can see, it's got a fair bit of ironstone in it, a little bit of clay content, a little bit of soil, but it's actually washing out really well, because that's what it's looking like when it's coming out, and that's pretty clean. There's no actual dirt or silt or anything on that. But anyway, proof will be in the pudding. But this is where we got our best test pans right behind that tyre there, and we're digging down. We're still going down, we're still getting gravel, so we'll just keep shoveling it in until we hit about our 50 shovel mark, and then we'll do a top mat clean out and leave the bottom to run. The bottom, when I do a clean out of that, I'd actually don't pan it, I just stick it straight into a bucket and clean up the concentrates at home. But as you can see, it does a good job, this thing, for a homemade contraption. It was actually come from a design from a guy in America called Alan Robinson. He had a reverse helix clay busting bucket trommel, he called it, and I based the design on that and did quite a bit of modifications to get it a bit bigger, a bit more light. He used timber supports to hold it all together and G-clamps and stuff, but he had a claim where he could just set it up, bolt it all down and use it, whereas this thing's pretty portable. The actual trommel with the motor minus the legs weighs about 6.5 kilos to carry in, and it's a bit cumbersome, but it does the job. It gets in there, and we're up to Mark 3, so it's now called Trommelgeddon Mark 3, and we'll see how well it does by the end of the day. Hopefully we'll do a few hours of it and see what we can smash through it, see what we can get out of it. It's very fine gold here. Kind of hoping that the sluice will catch it all. We're running one at the bottom, the top box, that catches most of it. The next one's running pretty shallow, and then the next one's running a bit steeper. This one is my river sluice. It's just attached on the end, and I call that the last chance saloon. So when I do a clean up, I usually do test pan the bottom sluice and if I'm getting gold down there, I know I've got to adjust things because it shouldn't be getting down to there. Anyway, hopefully we'll kick some ass today, and a big thank you to Dave for letting me come on his property. We do have plans of building him his own trommel and sluice setup so he can do this himself on his own block. And why wouldn't you, mate, if you got gold in the creek and you got gold in all the old diggings around, you'd give it a go, wouldn't you? If it was in your backyard and you owned it all, laughing. Cheers. Okay, we've run probably about 50 or 60 shovelfuls through. Probably half a metre of dirt come out of there. But the actual creek is starting to run out of water. So Dave's up a bit further, clearing the next log jam gravel bar that's blocking up the creek up there that's got more water to flow down here. And we're just about to do a top mat clean out. So you can see there's a fair bit of fines going out there. Okay, we've done our first top mat clean out. I mean, you got to expect it. It's not the Bendigo Goldfields. It's definitely not Creswick, but we've got a little bit of colour in the pan. So there you go. It is here. Again, very fine stuff. No big nuggets. Not yet anyway, not out of the top mat. But we're going to do another run. And instead of doing this hole here, we're going to change it up. And where Dave's got his feet over there behind that stump, we're going to do a run out of that and see if that's any better than where we are here for the next run. Anyway, we're going to keep going. We'll do a bottom clean up maybe in 2 runs time, and we'll see what comes out of the bottom. Thank you. Hey guys, back again. Yeah, I'm going to have to reposition, reset up. Might have to try and dig some gravels down there and try and block the dam and run my pump from here, because we've just about sucked this piece of the creek dry. Where the pump is at the moment, there was that was way over my knees, and this section went right up and around the corner. But yeah, we've tended to suck this one dry. But there you go. Have a look at that. There's a big yabby. Oh, missed him. Yeah. Anyway, the pump's screaming for water. Oh look, there's one. He's walking up the creek. Right. There you go. Nice big Aussie yabby. He's not a bad size either. I'd eat you. Without a problem, I'd eat you. Inland prawns they're known as. And there you go. Back up there where there's a bit of water. But yeah, this creek was pretty high. Guys, Andy here, property prospecting. I was up at Dave's with the Trommel. We got a bit of a shock near the end of the day. amount of gold that we actually found, there wasn't a lot. But give you a look in here, there's the buckshot that we found. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pieces. But when it comes to the actual gold, there wasn't a lot, but there was quite a lot of mercury in it, and that's just what you can see with the mercury that we actually got out of it. That was combined with the gold. But on the second clean out, there was a giant ball of mercury, which I'll show you in a minute. So now I'm going to have to make a retort to try and get this recovered gold from the mercury. Anyway, I'll just pause this and then I'll put that big blob of mercury in and show you. The big blob of mercury that was actually sitting in the sluice when we did the cleanup. Now, it's quite lumpy, so it's got a fair bit of gold in it, I would say. I think it just about took all the gold out of the second cleanup. It was all trapped in that, and that was not in the top box, that was actually in the second part of the sluice, which was quite surprising, but it appeared to have collected everything and sucked it all up. So that's separate to what we got over there, which has got a bit of mercury and inclusions in it. So we're hoping we can build ourselves a retort and be able to recover that. But if you watch the extended long version of the video and you saw the yabbies, well, I don't think I'll be eating the yabbies out of that creek, not with all the mercury. But anyway, thanks for everyone who's actually subbed on in the last bloody couple of weeks. Ever since the famous Gadsy gave us a heads up, it's been great. We've picked up another 15 subs. But yeah, hoping to do a bit more content for you. Try and mix it up a bit. Cheers and thanks very much. Andy, Poverty Prospect, having a go.